Hello and welcome to another booktube video from me, Lauren, from Lauren and the Books. And today I'm going to be going over the books that I read in July, my July wrap-up. Now, there was a little something called Booktubeathon in July. That's the first time I've just called it Booktubeathon and not automatically said Genreathon. Booktubeathon in July, and although I will show you the books that I read in Booktubeathon, I will link my wrap-up and vlog video down there so that you don't, if you've watched that, you don't want to watch me bleating on about those guys again. So we'll start with my favourite book of the month, which was The Sunlight Pilgrims by Jenny Fagan. I absolutely adored this. I'd seen it be reviewed on a few people's channels, Mercedes and Eleanor's channel, and I was like, oh, that sounds like something I'd like, and I got it out from the library. It took ages to get to me. There's like one copy going around the whole of my county, and when it got to me, I picked it up straight away, and I absolutely loved it. It was a complete delight to read. So it tells the story of future England, where there's been the beginning of an ice age is happening, and it follows one particular chap who lived in London. His mother and grandmother have died and left him a caravan in north Scotland, so he moves up there and has a relationship with a lady who also lives on the caravan park up there, and this is all happening in between the coldest temperatures you've ever seen, I guess like -50, and it's absolutely freezing, and the lady he falls in love with has a daughter called Stella, who is a trans character, which is a character, I haven't read many books with trans characters in, so that was complete, and it was really different for me to read that, and also just so enjoyable and lovely, the way it was just so normal that she was just a trans character in there. That was, but it was showing like the ways that her mother had come to terms with it, the way that her father perhaps hadn't quite come to terms with it, the way that the people who she used to go to school with, who knew her when she was a boy, were coming or not quite coming to terms with it, and I love that. But that wasn't like the main thread running throughout. It was just so much going on, and I adored it, and I would read it again and again and again. Unfortunately, I had to go back to the library, so I don't have a copy right here. But I will be reading that again, and I've also got the second. I think this book was actually out before hers, The Panopticon by Jenny Fagan. That is by Jenny Fagan, and I've got that out from the library at the moment. So I'm going to be reading that really shortly as well. I just loved her. I think she's going to be really, like, if The Panopticon's anything like The Sunlight Pilgrims, I'm going to really love it. But I adored it. I gave it 5 stars. I'm just seeing if there's anything else. Just ticked all the covers for me. And I think Stella, the daughter in the story, she's probably one of my favourite characters in all books ever. Like, I really, really loved her, and I really, really, really would urge people to read it. Go on! The next book was also a library book. It was I Capture the Castle by Dodie Smith. This is an incredible edition by the Bodley Head. It is one of these like printed hardbacks, which is lovely. So it's all nice and green, and it's got oh my goodness me, I've forgotten her name. Cassandra. Oh, sitting in the window there reading her little book. I love this. I've been told by a few booktubers that this was the ultimate comfort read, and it really was. I loved Cassandra the narrator. She was just so optimistic and sweet and funny, and like really reminded me a bit of myself. Some of the things she was saying in here, she was constantly saying things, I was constantly tabbing things that I agreed with. So one of the first things I ever come across was she said, noble deeds and hot baths are the best cure for depression. And that girl really loves a bath, and I really love a bath. This was really cute and enjoyable, and it feels like that it's been written much more recently than 1949. It was just so lovely, and she was so, like, I really could see a lot of myself in Cassandra, and I love that so much. And I'm going to be buying myself a copy of this because I'd heard wonderful things. I actually want this copy. This is just gorgeous, and I really, really loved it. So I gave that 4 stars, so very, very good. The next book I read, however, was not a 4-star book. So the next book I read, I did a buddy read with Jean from Jean's Bookish Thoughts of Perfect Days by Rafael Montes. Now, this cover is lovely. It's very buttery and lovely, but this, we both had such high hopes. We bought a copy each when we were book shopping together in Edinburgh, and we were like, oh, we'll buddy read that, and we went straight into it. I really love the front cover, by the way, but unfortunately that's as much as I loved about it. I actually gave this 1 star. I really wanted to like this. So many people had told me it was great, and this was just so problematic for me. Like, it read like any other stalker book that I've read ever. It was really, really similar to You by Caroline Kepnes. Like, there was parts in it I was like, God, I feel like I've read this before, because it was so much like You by Caroline Kepnes. Jean didn't like it either, which was really helpful, because I was like, God, imagine if one of us fucking hated it. The other one really liked it, so we both didn't like it. So I thought the violence and abuse felt really like, I'm not unused to reading grim stuff, but it just felt so unnecessary and a bit like, gratuitous. Like I really didn't get on with the thing, and I actually wanted it to be over. There was a point where I got to like 100 pages from the end. It's not even that short, so it can't be that. No, there was about 80 pages from the end. I was like, God, I just want this to be over. This poor girl, just get the bloody ordeal over with. And yeah, I just didn't feel anything for like the main character, who was the abductor of the girl, and the whole thing I was just like, meh, did not enjoy it. But however, I do know people that would really enjoy this at work, so I will be taking it in and giving it to somebody at work. But yeah, this was not my bag at all, and I gave it 1 star, and I was relieved it was over. And probably the only reason I finished it is because I was doing it as a buddy read, and we both seem to hate it exactly the same amount, so well done, Jean. So the next few books I read were books that I read for Booktubeathon, and as I said before, I will link below my wrap up and my vlog from the week so you can see my deepest thoughts about them. But I will show you what I read and give you the star rating. So the first one I read was The Glorious Heresies by Lisa McInerney, which I gave 4 stars, but since having rethought about it, I'd probably give it 3 stars. Then Very Good Lives by J.K. Rowling, which I gave 4 stars. Then Ethel and Ernest, A True Story by Raymond Briggs, that I gave 3 stars. Then I listened to the audiobook of Moranifesto by Caitlin Moran, which I gave 4 stars. Then I read The Girls by Emma Cline, which I gave 3 stars. And then finally I read the screenplay of Joy by David O. Russell, which I gave 3 stars. So as I said, I will link, I'm going to put these down there. I will link my vlog and my wrap up below so you can have a look at that. And then finally this month I finished on Trigger Warning, Short Fiction and Disturbances by Neil Gaiman. So I was reading this during Booktubeathon as the book with yellow on the cover. You can see this is the yellowest cover you've ever seen. But I didn't actually get around to finishing it. This was sort of like a bit up and down for me. So it's short stories. There was short stories in it that I thought were okay. There were short stories I didn't think were okay. I never really got above the sort of, oh, that was all right stage. That was my face while I was reading it. So there were some in here that I liked. So there was a story in here which I found particularly okay, and that was the story, I think it's called Orange. So it was it is a series of answers from a questionnaire. So you don't read the questions, but you just read the answers. And it told the story of a woman who had been using fake tan, and her mum had been inventing bubbles, and she turned into sort of like this monster thing. And it was just very interesting, a different way of reading the story, very original. And for me, I really enjoyed that. There was also a Doctor Who story, which I really enjoyed. That was a longer one. And a story called Cassandra, which I found quite clever. I mentioned this in my Booktubeathon wrap up as well, as I was reading this during the week. About a woman who, about a man who made up a girlfriend when he was younger, and he goes on a stag do, and one of his friends is like, oh, Cassandra messaged me the other day on Facebook, and he's like, oh shit, well I made Cassandra up, so I don't know how that happened. And then his mum bumps into Cassandra in Tesco's and things like that, so that was enjoyable. But yeah, for me it was like much too too many forgettable stories for me to give it any more than a 2 star, so I gave it a 2 star. Those are the 10 books that I read in July. As I said, my favourite was The Sunlight Pilgrims by Jenny Fagan, and I cannot wait to read The Panopticon. I can't really wait to reread it again. I gave it 5 stars, I absolutely loved it. It's like a definite competitor for my favourite book of the year so far. I really, really enjoyed it. What did you guys get up to reading in July? I'd love to hear what you've read. If you've read any of these guys, then I would like to hear that too, and I will see you all again soon for another BookTube video.